Hey there! Today we will have a look at a small pen that was sent to me by Dave. Thank you, Dave. This is the Pilot Birdie. It reminds me a little bit of a Parker 25 Flighter, which has a similar shape at the end of the barrel. I have done a review of that, so you should be able to find that on my website. This pen is a small pen. It's a pocket pen. It's brushed stainless steel. There is a mechanical pencil, but there is even I think a sort of multi-pen with a pencil and a pen at the other end. Not a fountain pen though. This is the fountain pen model, the Pilot Birdie, a small pen. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. Let's start at the top of the cap. The finial right there is just a white blob. There's nothing really striking there. Then you have this clip, which is a lot like a I think the clip I saw on the Schaefer Targa Slim in all this pen reminds me a little bit of that. It says Pilot. It has a little thing there, and as you can see, it's very springy. We go on. It is a stickered pen, Pilot Birdie medium. They come in medium and fine, and then you have this end here, and of course that is meant to post the pen securely, because unposted it's very, very little. Posted, it becomes a decently sized pen. Then we have the section, white plastic with ribs and a nib, and the nib just says Pilot and M, and it is a sort of folded nib. You probably know this from, say, Lamy Safari, where the nib is folded around the feed. The pen takes standard Pilot cartridges, but it's also supplied with one of the squeeze type Pilot converters. That's pretty much all there's to it. So that's the pen. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Well, the plus side is also the negative, I think, for any pocket pen. They're very portable, they're very small, but they're also very small. Being small is a nice thing because it's portable, but if you have to write with it for a longer writing session, it can be a little bit tiring, at least for people with somewhat larger hands to use. Then again, I think realistically, a pen like this is not meant to be used to write 70 pages with. This is a pen you use for a quick note. You can fit it in the loop of your organizer if you have one, and quickly write down an appointment. That's pretty much it. It works well. The nib is well tuned, runs fine. It is a Japanese nib, so although this is a medium, it writes a lot like a Western fine, but it is smooth, has good consistent ink flow, and I have to say I rather enjoyed the way it wrote. So those are things I like about it. I like the posting ability and the fact that there was a clear bit at the end of the barrel meant for posting. That's all very nice, and it posts really securely, which is good. Things I don't really care for. I would like to see this in a broader nib, just because I prefer that, but this is what you get, and again, it's not a pen, I think, meant to be used for very long writing sessions. The nib works fine, but the section is ultra thin. It's really skinny. I'll show you the diameter of my finger right next to it. You can see that this is not a large section. It's not thick, it's not girthy, it's very, very thin. And if you have somewhat larger hands, I don't really know where to put my fingers, and that makes this, for me, a little bit uncomfortable to use for longer writing sessions. Bear in mind, though, it is ribbed. It's not that it doesn't offer any grip. There is definitely grip. So, as I said, good enough for a short note. The converter is definitely usable, is definitely a very nice, simple converter. The only problem with this type of converter is that you cannot see how much ink is in there. It's not transparent in any way. It's not like a twist type converter and the sack is black. So that means that it can be a little hard. You really have to pull it off. Is that a big deal? Well, it can be if this is meant to be taken on the road and you can't see how much ink is left. I think that can be an issue. Okay, having said all of that, I think it's a fascinating little pen. It's definitely cute, and it's definitely very portable. Now, let's take a couple of measurements. Capped, this pen is 111.2 millimeters. That's 4.38 inches. Uncapped, it's 105.9 millimeters. sorry, 105.7, that's 4.16 inches. And because this is a pocket pen, I will also measure it posted. Even posted, it's not huge. Clocks in at 129.6 or 5.1 inches. Section diameter at the narrowest point, 7 millimeters or 0.27 of an inch, and at the widest point, 7.6 millimeters or 0.29 of an inch. I'm going to put this bad boy on the scale. It is inked up, and it comes at 12 grams, so a very light pen, metal notwithstanding. Okay, thanks again, Dave. I much appreciate it. Now we're going to do a writing sample. I hope that's going to be useful, and I'll gladly see you guys later. Bye-bye. Alright, here we go with the Pilot Birdie. This is a medium nib, and the ink is, I think it's Conway Stewart Tamar. It's either Tamar or Tavy.
It's Tamar.
Someone says it's Tamar, and she would know because she is the ink harlot. Okay, here we go with this pen. It's smooth. It's not like writing on glass. There is a little bit of feedback, but it is a relatively fine nib. I don't find it scratchy, but there is some feedback. Let's do some fast writing. No skipping, and that's my experience with Japanese nibs. They can be a bit fine, but they tend to write really well. Now, as to that fineness, this is pretty much no pressure. I just happen to have here a Delta Dolce Vita oversize, and that's a broad, and not even the broadest broad in the world, but definitely a broad, and you definitely see how fine this nib is relatively. As to its wetness, well, it's not terrible, but being so fine, it's not exactly a gusher either. As you can see, it dries up pretty quickly, but I haven't really found it runs dry. I wrote a whole page with it without it actually running dry, so that's a good thing. Line variation. You can squeeze out some. But don't expect too much. Finally, reverse writing to get that ultra fine line. As you can see, that's not really successful here. The pen runs dry, it's very scratchy, so this is not one you can easily turn over. Then again, you already have a pretty fine line, just the way it is. So, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Guys, I hope this was useful. And I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.